Hello students, in this video lecture we are going to discuss the different data related services offered by the GSM network and different signaling schemes mainly observed in mobile cellular network and PSTN network. So first of all, about the mobile data communication, as we know, as per the growth in mobile telephony or cellular system, the demand of the mobile data communication services has been growing at very rapid rate, and the reason behind the growth of or the need of the data by the user is due to the use of the portable computers or handheld devices, that is mobile phone, smartphone or any digital personal device. Okay, so these are the devices mainly observed in our day-to-day life, okay, to access the internet and internet services from any location and at any time. So n number of services observed by using the mobile cellular network. Okay, so data services and applications offered by the GSM network. So few examples are given. So first one is the paging and SMS, that is short message services, email application, electronic mail, internet or internet access, then database access and the file transfer related operations. Okay, so suppose one of the server available in the cloud or by using the internet we can access the data. Fleet management and dispatch, for example transport related service, trucks, taxis, package delivery and status knowing by using the internet and the particular platform provided by the fleet management. Then particularly in case of the industries like stores and warehouses, you will find the inventory control. So different sections available or observed in the industries, and the database or the items available in the inventory we can check by using the internet. Then credit card related services, credit card authorization, that is from the remote or mobile locations. Field related services, depending on the location or depending on the area, different services offered by the GSM or the internet service offered by the GSM network. Again related to transportation, intelligent highways. Okay, so that is we can say that the automatic toll collection system which is observed on the highways, automatic billing and toll collection, and the database we can access by sitting anywhere or by using central station. Then data inputs, for example hospital patient chart, monitoring of the patient and related information we can check on the mobile terminal. Then auto rental returns. So n number of applications nowadays are working with the help of the digital network or mobile cellular data network. So depending on the demand of the services and applications in our day-to-day life, enhancement and implementation of existing public mobile data network. So these are the different categories, that is mobile data communication with the help of the traditional terrestrial antenna type of scheme, and second one is by using the satellite based communication or satellite based data communication. So under this terrestrial you will find different wireless services and the data related services. So wireless LAN, so here you will find 802.11, the Wi-Fi standard, Hyper LAN. Then mobility in internet, mobile IP, wireless ATM. Then other services like the specialized network, packet networks, PMRs, SMRs, tetra like schemes. Then public networks. So in this public network you will find the traditional circuit switched cellular network with PCS, that is personal communication system, and digital public network, that is packet switched cellular network, again with PCS. One more category, that is low power system, that is DECT and the PACS. So these are under the terrestrial wireless network. Then by using satellite based, okay, so geostationary or geo network and LEO and MEO, it is low and medium range kind of communication with the help of teledesic and Iridium. So this mobile data communication is categorized in the first one, that is circuit switched data service on the cellular network, that is traditional circuit switching network for data service. So in this you will find the first one, that is circuit switched, that is data network or data related service on analog cellular network. So in this case analog cellular network were primarily designed for the voice. As we know, the PSTN network and the first cellular network is for the voice communication, and then afterwards requirement from the user, that is for the data or the internet, the digital platform is available with analog cellular network. So here you will get low bit rate, so here we are getting low bit rate data with the modem. So due to the random nature of the radio channel, as we know very well, the variations in the radio waves, okay, and the behavior of the radio wave in the environment is unpredictable. Okay, so random nature of the radio channel and analog system, variable data transmission properties are observed with the narrow band of cellular channel, that is 300 Hz to 3 kHz. Again, potential for the signal loss due to the RF fading. So this is the main problem observed with this particular analog cellular network. Again, potential for interruption due to the handoffs. So handoff procedure we know very well. If one of the customer want to change or is moving away from one network to the another network, so at that time the handoff procedure takes place in between the two service providers or with the help of mobile switching centers. Then the use of compounding and pre-emphasis devices. So these are the terms are need to consider in this particular network. So we know very well that to access the internet, the one of the device which is observed with the PSTN network or in the networking field, that is modem. So ordinary landline modem operates at 300 bits per second to 1200 bits per second. Okay, so can provide adequate data transmission performance. Then the specially designed modems with the RJ11 kind of interface, which provides the automatic dialing, carrier establishment and forward error correction. So these are the features are observed with the modems. Again, this particular modem is helpful to provide the better service during the short carrier interruptions. So by achieving all these considerations, there are some limitations are there. So here the operational data rate over the analog channel remain in the range of 2.4 to 4.8 kbps only, so far lower than those of wire landline based modem based network, where we are getting the speed up to 28.8 kbps. So in this particular diagram we can able to see typical arrangement for the support of dial-up data connection in an analog cellular system. So here we can able to see at the left hand side the cellular modem is there. Okay, so cellular modem is responsible to connect with the RF antenna or the base station, and again the cellular modem is connected to the end devices, that is mobile phone, the data terminal equipment, that is computer or laptop. And at the right hand side the typical blocks which are observed in a cellular network, that is BSS, base station with RF feed and the antenna section. So this BTS or BSS is connected to the mobile switching center with VLR, visitor location register, modem pool. Okay, so this MSC and modem pools are again connected to the PSTN network, public switch telephone network. Again, so at the right hand side in this particular PSTN network you will find the wired network where the modem is connected to the PSTN either by using the RJ11 kind of port based cable and all the required instruments. So modem is connected to the PSTN network and modem is again connected to the computer or laptop. Now in this case the modem pool, so modem pool is sometimes also referred as the modem converter, which plays an important role by the cellular modem user by dialing and access code. So suppose the DTE or cellular phone want to access the internet by using the cellular network, so at that time the user will dial the number. Okay, the same way the terminal which is available in the PSTN network, so that terminal suppose want to access the internet, so at that time the modem pool is responsible to dial the specific code. Also it facilitates communication between the cellular modem and the landline modem over this cellular network. Okay, so you will communicate with the modems which are available in the wireless network and the modems which are available in the wired network. It provides a specialized network and modem to signaling software to connect cellular network directly to the PSTN for data connection. So a special software is required to get connected with the internet service or the network, cellular network and wired network. So at that time this particular block is responsible to provide or to establish the connection between the modem and the network. It can boost the available data speed up to 9.6 kbps. So depending on the requirement or the resource availability, it can improve the data rate up to 9.6 kbps. Some other features of the modem pooling, that is better transmission quality. So signal quality and transmission quality is better, including the single number access, one stage dialing for mobile user. Only the user will get the particular code or the a single code, such a way that by dialing that particular code he or she can access or get connected with the internet. Also the consolidation for the billing records. So particular the connection establishment, disestablishment, dial-up period and the depending on the usage of the internet, the billing kind of information this particular block will provide. In the next category, that is circuit switched data on the digital cellular network with low speed. Now in this case the scenario is different. In the previous scenario, the data communication with the help of analog cellular network, but in this case the data communication or the data service on the digital cellular network. So in this case, digital cellular system specification support a range of data related to the bearer services. So few examples are given. Initial GSM specification including the following categories of the bearer services offered by this particular circuit switch, the cellular network. So data circuit duplex with asynchronous mode, data circuit duplex with synchronous mode, PAD access, and circuit with synchronous mode, data packet duplex with synchronous mode, alternate speech and unrestricted digital data, then speech followed by data. So these are the services offered by this particular scheme, where the asynchronous and synchronous data circuit duplex represents commonly deployed service, and in GSM bit rates ranging from 300 bits per second to 9.6 kbps. So this much of the data rate we can get by using this particular scheme, either the asynchronous mode or synchronous mode. The next slide we'll see the typical figure for this particular architecture. So here we can able to see at the left hand side again the cell phone. Okay, so cell phone is responsible to provide data service to the data terminal equipment, and this particular wireless device or cell phone is connected to the BSS with RF interface or UM interface. Now in this case, in between MSC and BSS we are having the TRAU block. Okay, so TRAU with different data rate capabilities. So it is modified to 8 or 16 kbps. Again, the functions of this MSC are same like previous scenario. And at the right hand side, one block, that is IWF. It consists of RA, RLP and modems. So this particular IWF block is responsible to get connect with the PSTN. Okay, so in this case also you will find PSTN network is again connected to the one modem, and modem is again connected to the terminal or desktop or laptops. So IWF is the interworking function block. It provides all air interface protocol termination functions that are specific to circuit switch data service, and also it is necessary. Also, it provides the necessary protocol conversion and interworking functions for interfacing with landline network. Sorry. So depending on the data rate, sometimes it is required to convert the specifications offered by the protocols. So in this interworking function, different services are there, that is RA, RLP and modems. So RA is nothing but rate adaptation layer or rate adaptation block. So the bit rate associated with each interface varies with respect to channel structure. So depending on the devices available get connected with the network, so at that time it is observed that the variations in the bit rate, okay, so at that time it is quite different from the rate at which the end system communicate. So the end devices which are available in the network or get connected with the cellular network. So at that time it is observed that the specifications, data rates, and all the connection or channel related informations or the specifications are different. So the rate associated with an interface is always lower than the bit rate of the interconnecting channels. Therefore, the bit rate need to be adapted to align with that of the connecting channel at each stage. So the bit rate adaptation is most important to get connected or to get connect with the network, where the alignment of the channel is most important. So here we can able to see different stages, that is rate adaptation stages involved in ISDN, that is integrated service digital network, and the GSM network supporting the different data services. So here we can able to see RA0, RA1 and RA2 different stages involved in ISDN network. So rate adaptation concept in ISDN. So here we can able to see RA0 is adapting. At this particular stage we can able to see asynchronous mode with 0.075 bits per second to 9.6 kbps get adapted with the synchronous, that is 0.6 to 9.6 kbps of the bit rate. At second stage RA1 0.6 to 9.6 kbps synchronous to 8 to 16 kbps. At third stage, that is RA2, 8 kbps or 16 kbps synchronous to 64 kbps. So this is about the ISDN. In case of GSM, rate adaptation for GSM in air interface. So here at stage 1, again 0.075 kbps to 9.6 kbps asynchronous to synchronous, that is 0.6 to 9.6 kbps. At second stage 0.6 kbps to 9.6 kbps synchronous to 3.6 to 12 kbps. And this particular stage is connected to the channel coding with FEC, forward error control block, and this particular bit rate is provided to air. Then in the second figure, the use of TREU, that is transcoder and rate adaptation unit in GSM. So here we can able to see 3.6, that is from air interface, 3.6 to 12 kbps to 8 to 16 kbps again get adapted in the second state, that is 8 to 16 kbps to 64 kbps, and 64 kbps is given to the A interface or to the next block. So in this way at each stage the rate adaptation process is involved in this particular TREU and adaptation process. Next one, that is error control. So here transmission over mobile radio link is subject to significantly greater interference and delay. This you know very well. The variations, due to the variations in the radio wave, we are getting the crosstalk and noise in the radio channel, and due to this problem or fading problem, we are facing the delay problem. Then raw bit error rates in the range of 1 per 1000 are not uncommon on mobile radio links. So single bit error in the 1000 bits is uncommon. So single bit error is also observed. Then forward error correction, forward error control and correction and interleaving can take care of such impairment as channel feeding. So forward error correction and control particular block or this particular technique is responsible to check the bit error in the digital information. So in this case this particular channel feeding but not will be able to counter the effect of the handoffs and channel interruptions. So depending on the required error performance or errors observed in the digital information, additional automatic repeat requests, that is ARQ kind of protocols, are involved in this particular case or in this system. So ARQ protocol implementation in GSM is known as the radio link protocol, that is RLP, which will come under the IWF, which is based on the high level data link control, that is HDLC kind of protocol. Okay, so this is about the circuit switched, the digital data related service but limited speed. Next category, that is high speed circuit switched data. Okay, that is HSCSD, high speed circuit switch data in GSM. So it is an extension of the current circuit switched data service implemented in GSM. So it utilizes the multiple TDMA time division multiplex slots for data connection to achieve high data rates. So in this case, GSM physical layer implementation for data service is maintained as it is. There are no any modifications done in the physical layer or the hardwares which are observed at the physical layer. So GSM frame structure of 8 time slots per 200 kHz carrier led to achievable user rates up to 76.8 kbps. It is 9.6 to 9.6 into 8 kbps. So due to high data rates, this particular scheme provides the potential for pseudo asymmetric operation. So some of the sub channels assigned for the uplink directions are not used, and due to this particular reason, the large capacity for the downlink transmission, this option suitable for the internet applications. So some channels which are available or free can be used for the other internet related applications. So this is the typical architecture of the HSCSD. So here we can able to see again the cell phone is connected with the data terminal equipment, laptop or any digital gadget. In this particular cell phone get connected or will connect to BTS with T1 interface, BTS and VSC with T2 interface, and in between BSC, base station controller, and mobile switching center with TN interface. So this mobile switching center with again IWF. Okay. So here the mobile switching center is again connected to the PSTN network or ISDN network or PDN network, and this particular mobile switching center is get connected with the PSTN with n time slots, So it is based on simple principle of multiplexing up to 8 time slots without requiring the major changes in the existing GSM network or the infrastructure. That is, the building blocks or blocks observed in the GSM infrastructure are the same. So full advantage of this particular HSCSD in terms of the highest bit rate, which can be achieved only by implementing the additional changes in the existing protocols and the procedures. So these are the some changes observed in the existing. So here we can able to see the first one, that is BSS and MSS link. So BSS, base station subsystem, and MSC link with 64 kbps or a DS0 rate bearer channels. Then frequency hopping mechanism. So here at each frame, so here you will find the each frame transmitted on different carrier frequency according to the defined frequency hopping sequence. Then RLP, radio link protocol. So this is the additional error correction protocol for multiple error-raised frames. Then the flexible bearer service. So here in the absence of the sub channel or call blocking at the origination or at the handoff, so these are the kept for the provide the services during this particular call blocking and that kind of scenario. The next category, that is packet switch data services on the cellular network. And in this particular scheme, the first one is the packet data in analog cellular network, that is CDPD, that is cellular digital packet data. So it is the packet switch service designed for the operation with an analog cellular system, specifically with the AMPS, that is Advanced Mobile Phone Service. So it is implemented on the existing AMPS platform. It utilizes the unused bandwidth in the system to transmit packets in connectionless mode. It is capable to share such AMPS components as RF circuits and the antennas and power sources and the location registers. So it was developed in early 90s by the CDPD forum, initiated by the number of US cellular service providers. So this is the typical architecture of this particular CDPD. So here we can able to see the different blocks available. So RF section is again connected with the MES, means mobile end systems. So RF block is connected to the AMPS base station, that is BTS. CDPD MDBS, that is mobile database station. And this particular section is got connected with the AMPS, MSC and VLR. And CDPD MDIS, mobile data intermediate system. And again this MSC is get connected or connected with the PSTN network. This MDIS is again connected to the MDS router, okay, and this particular router is connected to the cloud or internet, and the particular network is connected to the computer, that is FES, that is fixed end system. So here MDBS, that is mobile database station, is responsible for radio resource management or control function like radio channel allocation, interoperation of channels between CDPD and voice calls, and tracking of busy and ideal status of reverse or uplink channels. So this particular block MDBS and the functions offered by this particular block are somewhat same like the BSS, which is observed in GSM cellular system. GSM scheme. Then MDIS, mobile data intermediate system. So this particular block is responsible for mobility management, roaming support, and billing and accounting functions. So here all the communications in CDPD takes place via MDBS only. So if suppose two mobile systems want to communicate with each other, so at that time they should communicate with MDBS first, or through MDBS all the communication takes place. Multiple MEAs share the reverse, that is mobile end station to MDBS channel to communicate with the MDBS. So the multiple mobile end station share the reverse, that is mobile end station to MDBS channel to communicate with an MDBS. Then the FEC, that is forward error correction, chosen for CDPD is the Reed-Solomon 46 and 47 encoding scheme with 47 data symbols, that is 6 bits per symbol, followed by the 16 parity symbols. The information is transmitted in variable length frame over the radio channel. So depending on the application or the user requirement, the length of the frame may change. Frames are delimited by unique frame flag sequence. So frame flag sequence plays an important role to arrange the number of frames which are coming from the mobile end station, or the frames are moving or going towards the end device or the mobile phone. The frames are then transmitted in the form of the burst containing the integral number of the Reed-Solomon FEC blocks interleaved with the necessary control and synchronization bits. So here we can able to see the CDPD reverse channel signaling format. The first one is the CI and second one is the continuity indicator. So in this reverse channel, 38-bit dotting sequence, so 38-bit dotting sequence and 22-bit sync sequence, that is the reverse synchronization sequence, precede the transmission of RS block, that is reverse channel block. Also known as the Reed-Solomon block. So here the 38-bit dotting sequence, 22-bit synchronization bits and 355 bits for the RS block. And this 385 bits are again divided to 47 data and 16 parity. So each RS block is interleaved with the continuity indicator bit, the total 7 bits. So it indicates the termination of the transmission. So continuity indicator is responsible to tell the particular mobile phone or the particular section in the cellular network either the frames are coming to the next, or this is the end of the particular data. After the last block of the information, there is a transmission ramp down period. So this ramp down period that may last up to 2 milliseconds. Then in case of forward channel, that is the data from MDBS to mobile phone, data transmission consists of the continuous stream of the RS block which are interleaved with the control flags. So in the 6-bit control flag which occurs at every 10 microslots or symbols in RS block, the first 5 bits are used for the busy or ideal indication and the 6th bit for the block decode status. And the busy or ideal bit indicates whether the reverse channel is ideal or busy. So this information is used by the mobile end station to time the transmission. So this information is used to mobile devices or mobile phone the time of the transmission. So this is about the CDPD forward channel, reverse channel and the typical frame formats involved during the communication. In the next session we will see the different signaling schemes observed in the cellular network and the PSTN network.